little bit of malware for sure.
We're going into game 3 with 1 game apiece.
Yep, Kyle's choosing to go first here. Going to be sending off Engraver. Really awesome to start with the powerful Fiendsmith cards. Y'all didn't see it when we were offline, but Kyle was really good at maintaining, oh, when do I go for my Ryzeal cards? When do I go for my Fiendsmith cards? Because once you use particular Ryzeal effects, you will be locked out of the extra deck from non-rank 4 XZs.
Well, it looks like we are going to go ahead and activate.
Normal summon ice.
Normal summon ice.
Yep, ice is
special from deck. Yeah.
Ice effect special from the deck. Again, classically this gets sword, but if you want to play around potentially locking yourself out of the extra deck, you could get X Ryzeal instead.
Certainly important when you're playing the Fiendsmith cards, right? You can't lock yourself into rank 4s until you get through your Fiendsmith strategy. So we'll see if Batahan wants to do anything with his cards in his hand.
I would love to see a Fiendsmith Desiree and Detonator in play at the same time. That'd be crazy. Maybe not. If you want to stop this, sometimes stopping the Ryzeal main deck monsters isn't the best, but given that you know Kyle's playing a deck with heavy engines and different archetypes, it could be pretty valuable for you. What if he has no other Ryzeal cards in hand, right?
Well, I think I see a Dominus Impulse in there, so he may be deciding to drop it now, but it looks like he decided to let it go.
Impulse is probably the card you want to use on ice, so I definitely understand his hesitation, but given that we know Fiendsmith cards are in the deck, maybe saving for an effect like one of those might be smarter.
It's difficult because Ryzeal is a deck that maybe sometimes you can't even interact with. You just have to push through it instead.
Right. And here we see Sword being the choice off of Ryzeal, adding X to hand. This will, I believe, lock Kyle out from the extra deck besides rank 4 XCs. So keep that in mind, people watching at home.
Definitely some great rank 4 XCs, though. We've seen all kinds of stuff up here.
Oh, yeah. I've seen everything from Exciton Knight to Babushka being played in this tournament, and it's awesome.
Yep.
Oh, maybe I lied. How does Sword Ryzeal locks when he's special alone is full XZ's combo because you can access Node and stuff. So yeah, I think he just wants to get his Fiendsmith cards out of the way now. Yeah, that's right. Ice locks when you special him from hand, X locks when you special him from hand, and then Sword locks when you special. So they all lock when they special, but if they do any of their other effects, they don't.
Makes them a nice deck where you can decide the pace of play you want to engage in. Either you play nice and slow and conservatively with your normal summons, or you just go all in with all those special summoning effects. But again, you do get punished in your own certain way by being locked into those rank 4 monsters.
I also do love the combination of Fiendsmith and Ryzeal because you're like, oh look, I have 2 level 4 monsters. They can turn into a rank 4, but they can also turn into a Moon of the Closed Heaven, which means I can go into my Fiendsmith cards.
Well, speaking of Fiendsmith cards, looks like Blackwing of the Crimson Tears sending Fiendsmith in Paradise to the graveyard. We've seen a lot more of that played starting from the last YCS in Europe. So it's nice again to see the duelists over here are taking notes from those duelists across the sea.
Yeah, it's a really powerful sort of control piece, you know, like it really makes Fiendsmith feel like this robust advantage, sort of like, you know, removal engine, which is just super nice.
Take a look here at the extra deck, seeing what our next option is. Kyle thinking...
We're going to be sending Aggregator to summon X from hand, it looks like.
So now we're locked.
Yep, now we are officially locked.
Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, targeting Lacrima. This will search, and this will negate this.
Yeah, we're doing that to chain block cards like Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, etc.
It's inherent, yeah. Okay. Good?
All right,
yeah, sadly you cannot impulse an X Ryzeal. It is not an effect that starts a chain. Yep, and there we see Node Ryzeal coming down. Notable too, I almost didn't recognize this. Lacrima's a level 4 monster.
It is, it is. I was going to say, it's a perfect time to get locked into rank 4s when you have a 4 on the field.
And this gives us the extra interaction of having Fiendsmith in Paradise in our graveyard, as well as that Mirror Logic Aggregator. He had a Node Ryzeal. Yeah, Node Ryzeal was the add off of X.
So now you're locked into XT. I am locked into XYZ.
Yes, now we are, yeah. It's always good to double check that thing, you know. These cards have so many different effects, and only certain ones will lock you, not all of them.
Especially on the first day of school here again. Yesterday was the first day these cards were tournament legal, so just wild.
Yesterday was the first time I saw these cards, and they're beautiful, they're wonderful.
No, he can't special summon himself, but he can send something from the field or my hand to the grave, and then special something from the grave. I got Monster Reborn.
A little Monster Reborn joke there, but we are going to go ahead and bring out our Xyz.
It's going to be Duo Drive.
Special summon.
I think because we have Node in hand, we can safely go for this Duo Drive. Even if Duo Drive gets removed or its effect stopped, we can still get into our Detonator using Node. Yeah, but there's Imperm.
Infinite Impermanence again. We've seen a lot of Duo Drives not get a lot done this tournament.
I mean, it is like the most scary card in the archetype because getting access to the field spell and plug-in are just so strong.
Definitely got to stop it.
So I think it's going to be Node, Special Summon.
Yes, they're all inherent. Yeah, all of them are inherent.
Yeah, so it's basically going to summon itself, and then he can take a card from his hand or field of the graveyard, and then if he has an Xyz monster in his graveyard, he can summon from the graveyard. And a Ryzeal monster, I believe. Or any level 4 monster, maybe. I forget.
Well, let's see what he ends up pulling out. It'll be the answer to our question.
It should be the card he wants to go for Detonator.
Target sword sending
Oh, wow.
this to grave.
Yeah, gotta wait
There's
for the
reveal,
cost, though.
yeah.
Hey, I was just as excited as you were.
Oh,
because,
absolutely. And you get the extra effect, too, of destroying the card because that infinite impermanence is in the graveyard.
And that means no Detonator. I think we have now turned off Detonator.
To a degree, Batuhan had almost telegraphed the fact that he had the Dominus Impulse saying, hey, like, is that an effect? Is that an effect? Is that... Ah,
Sure.
that's the effect. Gotcha.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
the card still works, whether you knew it was coming or not.
Also, big shout out to Batuhan for sequencing and making sure he used Imperm first before he activated Dominus Impulse so he could get rid of Node Ryzeal.
Now, he is locked out of certain attributes of effects, but it is a Blackwing deck, so he is fine. And speaking of Blackwings, here comes Blackwing Simoon, the poison.
Oh boy, here we go. Gonna get that patented Black Whirlwind plus normal summon and search for pretty much any Blackwing in his deck.
It gets pretty crazy, especially when he's not staring down a Ryzeal Detonator, so
Can
he
you
actually
ash
has-
Simoon?
And then special one? Yeah.
It's not necessarily the Simoon because it's placing the trap on
Yeah.
the field, so it's not even Ash Blossomable.
But you
if
can
that's a
ash
word.
Black Whirlwind though.
Yes, you can, yes. But the chain links, depending on how it resolves,
That is true, you can chain block it, huh?
you can't with other Blackwings for sure.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, this was not my regular normal summon.
It's
Yeah,
an additional?
it is an
Okay.
additional
It is an
normal
additional
summon.
normal summon.
Like, it
Batan
normal
is
summons itself.
It's a
exactly
part of the
correct.
effect of Simoon to normal summon itself.
Can I read this real quick?
It's considered a normal summon.
It's a strong card. Now, that Black Whirlwind is not permanent. At the end of this turn, it will get banished, and then
Yeah,
it'll
this
take
one I
1,000
know. Yeah, that
damage.
one I know.
That's the poison
That one-
in Simoon, the
that was
poison
good
wind,
card,
right?
good card.
That's right, that's right.
Normal summon it without tribute. Does that count as normal? As not the normal? Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
Definitely
it's
not
all
the
part of
normal.
the effect, essentially. In
The
case you
strong
want to think about
effect.
it.
To add 2 cards in hand?
Yeah, debating on if he wants to ash the Black Whirlwind.
Yep.
And he still is a normal summon, which is very important, but
And then while he has material,
Yeah.
all my monsters gain 100 for each material he has, and yours lose 100 for each material. So
that
you
makes the
lose 200,
boon
I gain
1,400.
Again, just clarifying what all of our cards do at all points, that way people know what the game state is. There we see Talents. Oh, Kyle playing into Talents. Going to be choosing to draw cards, I believe.
To draw is pretty solid.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Again, getting those 2 draws. If one of them is a Blackwing monster that can be normal summoned of a certain attack, doing good.
And fun fact, guys, Black Whirlwind is a card that was printed before once per turns were a thing. So if we normal summon some more, we can search for some more cards.
Oh, Tribute Summon
Tribute
here.
summon. Oh, and there we see, I believe that's Sunger of the Dusk Moon.
May I read this one?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with all the Blackwings. You cannot special summon from the extra one.
That's going to be Zonda the Dust. Of course, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except Synchro monsters. Cool, we're playing Blackwings, right? And if it's normal summon, you can target a monster on the field and return it to the hand. You can also banish it from the graveyard, which we saw earlier, to special summon a level 5 or higher Blackwing monster from the deck. But then you take damage equal to its an attack, which
And then-
is a normal thing that happens with Blackwing.
And then what's the attack on Zundra? It's like 18, 22, something like
It's
that?
actually 2,300, giving you access to almost every Blackwing in your deck via Black Whirlwinds.
27.
So let's see, I don't believe
the attack's
Zundra's-
actually reduced, though, from the duo drive, so it's only 2,100.
That's right.
So that actually is going to determine, it's one of the things you can do to kind of mess with your opponent trying to use Black Whirlwind is use some sort of continuous effect to reduce their attack. Sorry, playing too much Duel Links here, so I've definitely experienced that firsthand.
And there we see Vada, the Emblem of Wandering. This card's really cool. It essentially lets you synchro summon using cards from your hand. Really powerful. Kind of think of it like Bayou, you know, for all my 2010 players out there.
Well, he is an emblem after all.
Special?
Not the Emblem of Honor, though, the Emblem of Wandering.
So there we see him special summoning himself. He's a level 2 tuner monster, I believe.
Fiendsmith and Paradise effect? Banish?
Let me see real quick.
It'll dump a Fiendsmith from deck or extra deck to grave.
I do want to point out that Vada specifically will summon Blackwing Dragon if you use his effect to synchro summon.
I have to send it from
The
deck.
good
or
use here of the Fiendsmith
Oh,
in
the second
Paradise,
effect, sorry.
again, you do get to send a card from the deck or extra deck to the graveyard, and Desiree would be a great option right now in order to get its effect too.
Just goes to one.
I believe
That's fine.
Desiree's effect to send will be on a new chain, correct?
That is correct,
Okay.
yes.
Unfortunately, I don't believe
Send
Vada's a
Desiree.
quick
Anything
effect.
on resolution? No. Desiree effect?
Yep.
All right, it's
Just shuffle
Desiree
back
time.
and send something. Send a face-up card. I target a card on the field and send it to grave. Yep.
I assume, well, there's a lot of options there, so we'll let Kyle do the choices here, but
It depends on like what his Fiendsmith
Shuffle
engine's looking
back.
like, maybe, because if he only has like one Requiem or one Moon, put that back, get access to it later.
Let me read this again.
taking a quick look at our Vata, the Emblem of Wandering.
Surely you send the level 6, right? Because, I mean,
I will send this.
okay, we're gonna choose to get rid of the Vada.
It does have that effect to go to the graveyard to go ahead and bring out that black-winged dragon. So just trying to be safe here. Already used up those summons. Let's see what we get next.
That one.
Ooh, just setting the card.
Attempt to go spell phase, and I'll get burned for 1,000.
Yep, so basically because
Okay.
of Simoon, the Black one will
Burn
be
for 1,000?
destroyed, and then Batuan will take 1,000 points of damage.
Is kind of difficult here. We got 13 minutes left on the clock, so both
So you're
duelists
at
should be
7K.
fine.
Yep.
But that should be 7,000 life points.
But whenever you do yourself damage, whether you're playing Malice or whether you're playing Blackwing, you should always keep track of that stuff. It can get a little sketch sometimes.
Did I want to make sure I didn't go in? I
Certainly
didn't.
a lot of moves to make.
Draw
Want to
phase,
write
yep.
those down. But now we're down to the draw phase, so Kyle draws
Stand
for
by me.
turn. That another Ash
call
Blossom?
effective.
Yeah.
There we
Oh,
see
infinite
Imperm again
permanence.
on the dual drive.
Oh,
and Chain Imperm
wow.
in the Imperm column going to be negating his. Oh my
Applause
goodness.
from the crowd there. The duo drive does resolve, so we haven't seen too much of this, but it maybe just the field spell and a Ryzeal plugin, or maybe two
Plug-in would
monsters.
be pretty cool right here. Maybe allowing him to kind of get enough bodies on board to start attacking for big damage. But remember, when you use plug-in, you are forced to only attack with rank 4 XZ Ryzeal monsters, or no, rank 4 monsters in particular,
Looks like he is going to grab our field spell Ryzeal Cross.
as well as Ice Ryzeal. Yeah.
I'll probably go back in. Yeah, I'll probably go back in.
This is the first time I'll be seeing Ryzeal Cross being activated, I think, during one of these games. It's a really powerful card. It has like a pseudo-avarice effect to let you draw more cards to your deck.
effect,
But the really powerful part is you can
Graver?
detach from your XZ's monsters
Shuffling back.
to negate at resolution any monster effect.
That is one of the rarest effects of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. Like, the only other things I can think of are, like, Cerulean Skyfire with Haman, Lord of Striking Thunder. Being able to, like, tell your opponent, you know, we'll see if your card works. Yeah, sure.
Hey, nice chain block. I'm just kidding. It's negated. Hey, nice Nibiru. It's negated.
Well, it also has really great synergy with Ryzeal plugin
target.
because you can get out an Xyz monster, give it a material, get down to your opponent's card effect, and say, okay, now it's not going to work.
Right.
Sorry, just kidding.
So there we see the Engraver getting back to Requiem. Going to be sending to the graveyard to go for Necroquip Princess. Going to be a really powerful way to get some advantage, maybe even some rank 6 plays. Who knows?
Activate field spell?
Yep.
Normal summon. Call effect.
2 special.
2 special from deck.
Going to be Dominus Impulse on the
Okay.
Ice Ryzeal. Negate and destroy. Yeah, Batuan just had all the trap cards in his hand this game.
Well, it's certainly keeping him alive as we find out if our Blackwings get to advance with another win in this tournament, or if Kyle is going to take it with his Fiendsmith Ryzeal.
That's fine.
I'm not sure how many starters are in the Blackwing strategy, but I wonder like what one kind of
cards in
card combinations Batuan can pull.
Activate effect across. Yep.
Simoon would probably be pretty good because it lets you search for more cards.
Ah, but Simoon needs another Blackwing to be banished from your hand. So if you draw Simoon, you're looking at him, but that's about all you're doing.
You're right. Batuan did
That's
banish
nice.
the Vada before he did anything else.
All right, so getting to draw there by using the Ryzeal Cross Field spell effect, returning 2 cards back to the deck and drawing 1.
I think you drew a spell card, right? Yeah, probably.
Did.
Watch it be plug-in. That'd be crazy.
Hey, I mean, if you get the plug-in any way you can, it is a strong card for sure.
If there we see the attack on Sundra. I think that's like what 500 points of damage, 22 to 27. No, it's 25 to 23. So
It should be
200.
honest numbers here because I do not see an Xyz material underneath the duo drive.
Exactly.
4,800.
It sounds like it's 4,800 total.
That should be how much he has left after all the damage he's taken.
That is one of the difficulties of Blackwings and playing it again. It's kind of a 2-card deck, right? It's not one of these decks where you can just pick up 1 card and make a crazy combo worthy of a video. It's one of those things where you really need 2 cards to add together, right? We made that joke, birds of a feather flock together, but you do need a tuner and a non-tuner monster. That is at least 2 cards.
You kind of do, yeah.
I guess technically you could use Vada, the Emblem of Wandering, so maybe that's your 1-card draw, right?
Oh, but there we see Sundra's effect.